Hey guys, welcome back to Deeper Than Most. I'm your host, Sav.
And I'm your host, DJ.
And today we are coming to you with episode 10. Double digits. We finally made it to double digits.
Episode 10, dude. That's crazy. That's crazy. We've been doing this for a good little minute.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it's actually like 10 weeks of work, but kind of more than that because we did do like a precursor episode like back in 2020. So yeah, we've been doing this little podcast thing for a while.
Yeah, it's been fun though. It's been real fun.
Yeah, it's been flying by though. That's the thing. Like, it doesn't feel like it's been a long time, so that's good. Disclaimer, if I'm talking funny or like nasally, it's because it's allergy season.
Oh, we love that.
Favorite time of year, right? Yeah. So, today we are doing part 4 of the FNC series. And we have some really fun intro topics to jump into for today. So
fun for everybody because I don't even know what they are. So this is
yeah, they're going to be really fun. And honestly, like, I'll let you start today if you'd like. Or do you want me to start?
I mean, go ahead and start. Do your thing.
Okay. And today's case is... For the FNC series, today's case is the case of Morgan Nick. This is the disappearance of Morgan Nick, which happened back in 1995. So, this is an old one, kind of, but not really. Yeah. And also, this is still an active case, so there's not a lot of information on this case, but... Before we jump in, we're going to go ahead and get into these intro topics because they're really good. So, the first one is a viral young Tony Hawk.
Cool.
So, Paige Tobin is 6 years old and she is from Lake Macquarie, Australia. Australia. She recently went viral on Instagram she was skating in a pink dress.
Nice.
Yeah, I know, right? Her viral video gained over 1.4 million views, which is a lot.
Yeah, for a 6-year-old, that's cool as
Heck yeah.
That's real cool. Like, being 6-year-old.
That's crazy, though. I
cool.
wonder, like, if she understands it.
I would say so. Like, especially with the way
maybe,
kids are these
yeah.
days.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe. In the video, Paige drops into a 12-foot skate bowl as a little boy watched in amazement in the background, and she also showed off some other skills that she's kind of like honed in over the years.
Nice.
So I think that's pretty impressive. But
yeah,
I think it's really cool to note that there's a little boy in the background, like just in awe over this. Yeah, because it's cool.
It's cool as fuck.
And like we were saying, like earlier, like watching skateboarders and stuff, like you notice it's just a lot of guys. Like there's not a lot of girls that are into skateboarding.
And the thing about girls, like if they are into skateboarding, it's usually like pennyboarding or longboarding. Like they don't usually do the tricks and everything. So for her to drop in on a 12-foot bowl and then probably do some tricks after, it's kind of cool.
And for 6 years old, in a dress.
In a dress.
Paige's interest in skateboards started at 2 when she discovered her mom's old skateboard. So that's pretty cool. She's been practicing for the past 4 years, and she's only 6, so that's more than half of her life.
Yeah, that's kind of cool though. Like that she took it up so early.
And there is an Instagram video, so we're gonna go ahead and insert that now, and we're going to go ahead and watch it as well. So we're going to watch it with you guys. So. And the video is really cool too, honestly. Yeah. Like, and she's so freaking cute. She really did kill it.
Little board.
Right? And the dress. And her helmet. She has like cheetah print on the helmet.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the little boy.
He's like, drop though for a kid. Like
and she just looks so confident.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
So, we did insert the video. There's no audio just because of copyright reasons, but That was so cool. Like, she really demolished that. She was flying, cool. Like, in and out of there. And, like, she's so tiny, and then you just see her, like, flying through this big old, what are they called? Just bowls, I guess?
Yeah, it's just a bowl.
Well, yeah. So you see her in that. So it's really cool. Yeah. Because that's really impressive. Not a lot of people can do that, for one, but kids, like, especially, that's really impressive. So yeah.
Many celebs have went to the green route and created their own strains and cannabis brands as of late, which is kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
Like,
I want one.
You have your guys like Wiz Khalifa, Snoop Dogg, Tommy Chong, Willie Nelson, Martha Stewart, Seth Rogen, and plenty others. But now we got a new one. And many of you might have grown up with him, like Steve Urkel. If you guys are familiar, Family Matters. So actor Jaleel White is one of the newest people to actually do this. And he's partnering with 710 Labs.
First, I want to say 710 Labs is a really good company from what I've heard. Yeah, I've never personally like used their products, but a lot of weed I said the wrong word.
A lot of marijuana connoisseurs.
A lot of MJ connoisseurs talk about 710 Labs, and they really like 710 Labs. So, yeah, I heard that's a really good choice. And second off, like, can we just point out the fact that, like, Jaleel White is doing this? Like, that's the last person that I expected.
Yeah, I didn't think that would even ever be a thing on his radar. But that's kind of cool that he did it, though. Yeah. And I seen, like, the pictures from it, and he, like, dressed up as Steve Urkel, too.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty cool.
It's kind of cool. Yeah.
Nostalgic. Wow.
Very.
We had a nostalgic moment earlier, so... Wow.
Seeing him in the costume again is kind of nice.
Yeah.
And it says the new line, it's purple. It's set to launch in Cali on 4/20. Oh, that's fitting.
Soon.
Right.
Yeah, and very fitting, yeah. Perfect timing.
Yeah. This includes the launch of different variants of the strain Purple Urkel. That's not what's going to be.
It sounds like it'd be really good.
Right. Might have to check that out.
Well, we're not in Cali.
Who says we can't be, though?
True.
Jaleel says he hopes to debunk stereotypes associated with cannabis and celebrate its medical breakthroughs, which is
what we should all be doing.
Pretty good reason to do it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's pretty much it on that topic. But I thought it was just a really cool win for one, the black community, and also just like the most random thing.
Yeah, that's
he just came out of the blue. Yeah, how often do you hear about Jaleel White?
But think about it though. The last time you really heard about him was playing the voice of Sonic in that new Sonic movie. But
I didn't even know he was doing that. But also, I didn't even know his real name was Jaleel White. I just knew him as Steve Urkel.
Oh, real?
Yeah. So
you've been having a lot of revelations here lately.
I know this podcast has been teaching me a lot. Yeah. So yeah.
But yeah, that's a very random thing though. Like
it is definitely.
But it's nice. It makes you feel good.
It's cool to know.
Yeah.
Bragging rights. This one's really cool. You're gonna like this one. So, have you ever heard a spider web? I just want to start off by asking you that. Have you ever heard a spider web?
It depends on the context we're speaking of.
Have you ever heard?
No.
A spider web.
Like I've never heard
the sound of a spider web.
Created?
No. So, it's deeper than that. So, MIT scientists recently translated spider webs into music. And could be on the path to help us talk to... to help us talk to and understand the arachnids. So, right? The MIT team worked alongside a Berlin artist by the name Tomas Saraceno.
Yeah.
I think. Mm-hmm. Sounds about right.
Close enough.
Yeah. And together they made a 2D laser scan of the web.
I just wonder
pretty cool.
What does it sound like, though? That's cool.
I'm going to play it.
Nice.
Yeah, so... once put together in a scan, the webs were converted into a math model, so it's something I don't enjoy. I hate math, but yeah, they did that. So I don't know how you can convert that into math, but they did it.
Science,
and that's
man.
That.
Science.
Yeah. So This math model recreated the web design in 3D VR. So not only just 3D, but in virtual reality 3D, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the fact that they're playing around with virtual reality in this type of way is kind of interesting because you don't usually hear about VR as much. Like when it first came out, everybody was talking about it, this, that, and the third.
You usually hear about it for games, but you never hear about it for
scientific purposes.
Or anything like that.
Exactly. So MIT's music department got involved to create the harp-like virtual instrument. And we're gonna go ahead and play that right now. I really think you're gonna like this because this is pretty cool. So they essentially say that it sounds like a nightmare, or like a nightmare lullaby is what it sounds like to me. So, are you ready?
No, but I'm down.
It's super cool. Like, I think this is one of the coolest things I've heard all year because what? Like, the fact, I didn't even know that could be a possibility.
Yeah, the fact that things have sounds and you didn't know they had sounds is the weirdest thing. Because, that's the vibration of a spider web. Like, you didn't even know,
Exactly.
Cool shit.
So, I don't know why it's taking forever to load. Okay, we're going to go ahead and play it now. Hopefully. Oh, there it goes. Oh, nope, it's an ad. Okay.
They were here.
And we can't skip it. So,
in the meantime,
but it's finding its way.
Come on. Okay, it's about to go now. Cool, isn't it?
It kind of sounds like. Okay, so you know how we played Little Nightmares? And you know when whenever she was battling her mom or whatever, and you would when whatever the guy's name is, the one with the long arms, when he would come around, and you would
I forgot his name.
Hear the music or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's what it sounds like. It's cool though.
Okay, so that was the audio for the spiderweb. So what do you think?
It's pretty cool. I like that. If they would have just released little soundtracks of that, I'd be down for it.
Yeah. So what does it sound like to you?
Like I said, it sounds like that game from.
I know, but does it sound like a nightmare, or does it sound like a melody, or very relaxing?
It's more.
Does it sound like chimes? It kind of sounds like
it's more like wind chimes. It just sounds like wind chimes.
Wind chime vibes.
Mm-hmm.
So, damn. Fun fact, although spiders don't have ears, they can hear us. And I didn't know that until today. So.
You think it's do they pick up signals with their legs?
I think it's through vibration. I think that's how they hear us.
Sounds about right. Kind of like in the same sense with deaf people.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yep. So, it isn't impossible to understand them, it's just very hard. The web looks random, but it's full of internal structures, and you can visualize them and see them, which is a spider web. That's what we see, but we don't understand what we're seeing.
Right.
So
we don't, well, until now we didn't hear them either. So
exactly right.
I didn't even think they had sounds. That's kind of cool.
So exactly, it reminds me of
I wonder what it
drugs.
sounds like. I wonder
when
what it sounds like when you disrupt them. What does that sound like? If you were
probably scary as well.
If you were to disrupt a spider web, that would sound like.
But with all of this, it is still hard for the human brain to imagine or grasp the structure details. So we just can't understand the concept.
And that's okay.
We're not well equipped enough to do so as humans.
Right, and that's fine because we're not going to understand everything. And I think people oftentimes forget that. We can't know everything.
Exactly. I agree. So, this find can help us better understand how spiders view the world as well.
Which would also be very interesting because I always wonder what animals and insects and shit see.
Exactly. But I think the coolest thing to me is the potential to interact and actually communicate
with a spider.
Yeah. What are the odds? Why a spider? Of all things. I wouldn't expect a spider. What do I need to talk to a spider for? About what? Hey, make sure you get all the flies in the kitchen. Right. The fruit flies be wilding, bro.
I got them.
Just whispering from around the house. Yeah, bro, we got it.
Or what are their voices hella deep?
Oh, I was thinking like high pitch, like
that too. But like, if it's hella deep, that'd be scary.
That'd be scary as hell. So
the fact that there is even a voice in general.
Yeah, that's true. So that's all for the third one, and we have an extra intro topic for today, and I'm gonna let you read this one. And I thought this was really interesting because lately we've been talking about this subject a lot. So I thought it was fitting because it was just different. It was different. It was interesting. Okay.
Look at you, man.
So go ahead.
So if she won't say yes, I will. On Easter Sunday this year in Atlanta, William Hunn proposed to Brittany Miller. Picking an engagement ring can be a lot of pressure among the proposal process, which is
true.
Definitely true.
And honestly, I don't even think it can be a lot of pressure. I think it just is.
Right.
Like, girls, we can be picky. Women, like, we know what we want. So, you know, like, you really just got to pay attention to the signs. And you'll be in good hands. You'll be in good hands.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not hard. Like, especially some girls are really blunt and straightforward about what they want. Like, it shouldn't be too damn hard. Yeah, it's not.
Listening's not hard. No, just shut up and listen.
No.
But not to William Hunn, who had a simple solution. Proposed with 5 rings. Oh, this is cool.
5 rings,
I saw
dude.
this. He had the whole display.
Yes.
I fuck with that. That was
and
cool.
let her choose.
Yeah, I fuck with that.
Like,
after a breathtaking and romantic helicopter ride over and around the big city, a video was posted on Instagram.
And I bet that was so romantic.
Had to be. Because, like, just think about that. Like, 5
helicopter
rings.
ride around the city. Like
5 rings, though? Like
on Easter.
Right.
Yeah, 5 rings. An array of rings. And also, I didn't include this, but she was under the impression that they were headed to a photo shoot.
Right.
You know, like... And, like, they were taking pictures. So, I've actually seen another proposal video like that where... like, it's essentially the same thing. Like, the girl thought it was a photo shoot, and they were taking pictures, and they had her, like, turn around and throw roses, and he was, like, standing behind her on one knee, and then it showed her reaction in the moment. I thought that was a really good idea, and that is really cute. But yeah, this is essentially kind of the same thing, but with 5 rings, so I don't think I've ever seen anybody do it with more than 1 ring. That's kind of bold.
I've never seen that before. My man put his whole faith in that.
Yeah,
he was like, you know what?
Dedicated.
If you don't look,
he
I know
really like upped the game though.
Yeah,
like now niggas are just like, now dudes are just like, damn, bro, I gotta get like at least 3 of them, like 3 of them out.
I might not pick the right one, but you can pick the one you want. That's even better.
That's smart because then you know she gonna get what she wants.
Exactly. William gets on one knee and presents 5 rings to his girlfriend of 1 year.
Yeah, they were dating for 1 year.
I mean,
when
you love somebody, you love somebody. Man.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, there's no time limit on it, but that's crazy. Like, she must have been doing something right. Like, 5 rings within 1 year, dude. Like,
boy, if you...
That's crazy.
So Brittany responded to this lovely gesture with one quick word. Absolutely.
And I mean,
that
works.
Honestly, why not? Y'all don't have a great
That's
day.
better than a yes.
Y'all done went on a helicopter ride around the city. Like, y'all had a beautiful time. And then all of a sudden, he just get out and pull out 5 rings. Like, that's something that you going to tell your kids about. Like, you know, your kids and your grandkids. Like,
exactly.
So that's pretty cool.
And it's funny because, like, a little backstory on this is that all of the rings that he chose were, because they had went to jewelers prior to this, so all the rings that were displayed for her to choose from were rings that she had already shown an interest in, like, back when they just used to look at them. He, like, took note of that and remembered and literally, like, brought it to life. So I thought that was really cool. Like, you know, when guys actually put in an effort.
I'm pretty sure she was probably like undecided on which one that she liked the most. So he was like,
yeah,
you know,
let her choose.
Here are the ones that you picked, like the top 5.
But see, my indecisive man, I don't think that would work for me.
We're all of them then.
No, because like my thing would be, you know, I'd be like, damn, like, why didn't you just choose one that I was undecided about? Because now I don't know which one to choose still.
Just grab one.
Yeah, but go ahead.
So, William told CNN that he had been thinking about this how to propose for 5 months prior to Easter when he popped the question.
So get this. 5 months prior to Easter, he proposed on Easter, which makes it a year. So that means that he'd been thinking about proposing to this girl or marrying her since like 6 or 7 months into the relationship.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
I mean, hey, when it's there, it's there. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no time limit on it.
Right.
That's
a lot. That's
like, I hate when people try to say there's the time limit.
A lot of people mess up, bro. Like, well, why did you do it so soon? Why does it matter? Why did you do yours so late?
Right. Exactly. Why wait?
Right. We could die tomorrow. And he's just like, shit, if I die, I want to be married to you. And that was it. So,
exactly.
Hey, congrats with that. Like, I really commend that. That's cool as fuck. Like, you don't see... And they were, black, right?
Yeah, they were. It was a black couple.
Yeah. So, like, you don't see that too often.
You don't. And before we move any further, before we jump into the case, we want to go ahead and introduce the latest member to the family. Oh, he doesn't want to cooperate. This is our son Harlow.
Yeah,
he's our little kitten. He's the newest addition to the podcast fam. He's squirmy. He wants to play. But, he's the newest addition to the podcast fam. And he's only 10 weeks. So, we actually did a poll on our Instagram on what we should name him a couple weeks back. Because we were undecided. And you guys chose Harlow. So, it was Harlow or Shadow. And so, we went with Harlow. And he's so cute. And so sweet. Oh, baby.
Yeah.
So, if you want to see pictures of him from time to time, I would suggest following the Instagram. He's super cute, all black cat. And he kind of has like a brown tint to him. He's just so cute.
Oh, yeah.
And we've really been enjoying our time with him. But if you hear like any strange noises in the background, it's probably him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he's just wild. Look, now he's chill. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the you got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's go ahead and jump into the disappearance of Morgan Nick. So we're going to go ahead and jump into a little bit about the description of Morgan as well as some of the setting for this case. So, first thing is Morgan was 6 years old at the age of her abduction. And she was 4 feet tall and weighed approximately like 55 pounds. She was born September 12th in 1988, which would make her about 31 years old now. That's probably inaccurate. She has blonde hair and blue eyes. And at the time, she had 5 visible silver caps on her molars. So
she was a bad child.
But who knows if that's still the case, you know?
Yeah.
She was last seen wearing a green Girl Scout t-shirt, blue denim shorts, and white tennis shoes.
The sad part about this is Morgan was taken from Alma Ballpark in Alma, Arkansas. And it's been nearly 26 years since she disappeared.
Yeah.
26 years.
26 years. She was 6 at the time of her disappearance.
Morgan's case is still open to this day, and many people on social media have been accused for her disappearance. Oh, huh.
Yeah, which happens a lot.
Yeah.
In a lot of, like, more recent and current cases, I would say. Definitely happens more often in those cases.
Yeah. Police released a photo of a red truck with a white camper shell that could be connected to the abduction.
Yeah, which is huge because when she initially went missing, like, they didn't know where to start. Yeah. And then eventually over time, people started to come forward with information, and that's always a good thing because it always helps the case. Like, in this situation, like, it actually helped because it gave them something to go off of.
Yeah,
because they didn't have anything in the beginning.
Yeah, disappearances are really scary like that because it's like,
especially with no body, because then you really don't know is the person still alive or not.
Yeah, it's just
there's just that what if factor.
Yeah. The truck was at the ballpark on the night Morgan was abducted, though no one could identify its driver, which always baffles me.
Yeah, it does. But like that type of thing always happens though.
Yeah.
But think about it. Like you are at a ballpark. You're probably not paying attention to everybody that's there.
Like,
yeah, especially when it's like a little league. It's kids.
Yeah. Everybody's excited to see the kids. Like,
and there's just a lot going on at ball games. Like that's just how it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, like. It's not too surprising that nobody noticed, but at the same time, it happens a lot.
Right.
So yeah, it's just kind of crazy.
It's just like nobody saw, like nobody
ever
sees.
Somebody did, and we'll jump into that. Yeah. But nobody like knew the person. You know, like you don't know who the person is, so it's kind of useless information. And this information was coming from children, so
not too credible, huh?
I don't want to say that because kids can be very credible sources. In a lot of cases, there's been a lot of kids that have been credible sources. So I wouldn't say just because they're kids. I would just say, like, there was just a lot going on. Maybe because of how young they were like around 5 and 6. So, yeah. But before we move any further, thank our sponsor. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that.
All right, cool.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's free and it's easy to use.
There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast straight from your phone or computer, making it the best user experience around.
Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more, making it so you don't have to upload to each individual platform.
And the best thing about it, you can make money straight from your podcast with no minimum listenership.
It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place.
So please, download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. And that's Anchor.fm, spelled ANCHOR.FM.
So what are you doing? Download the free Anchor app now. The documentary Still Missing Morgan was recently released, but it was only regionally released.
Okay.
Which I didn't know that was a thing, but yeah, it was only regionally released, so it's not available for everybody. Which is weird because, you would think you would want it to be available for everybody because the more eyes, the more ears, the better.
Somebody can know something.
Exactly. You never know who knows what. So, especially with that long of a time frame.
Yeah.
Roughly like people move, exactly. People move, people meet other people, tell stories. Like, you just never know. Like, who's out there that might know something. Right. So, investigators received several leads from this documentary as well, which is a good thing, but it could have gotten them more probably if it were like accessible to everybody. Yeah, like, I don't know. I don't understand why you would want to limit that type of exposure, but
I don't know.
But hey. So Morgan's mother, Colleen, has been very active through this whole case and journey in trying to find Morgan. And I just wanted to make that a point because most parents do, a lot of parents do go that extra mile when something happens to someone they love or, their child.
Right.
But this, Morgan's mother, really took it to the fullest extent. She really did what she could to get exposure for this case back when her daughter first went missing. And even, today, because she started a whole foundation and, a movement because of what happened to Morgan. So we'll go ahead and get into that in a little bit. But before we do, Colleen said she wanted to throw up after authorities showed her the picture of the truck that Morgan might have left in. So because she was so involved, the police let her know a lot of things, and which is good, but also I can only imagine super traumatizing, super
it's that
intense,
it's that stomach dropping feeling when
but it's it's one of those things where you have to ask yourself, do I want to know?
Right. Do you
really
want to know?
You kind of have to choose between, I don't want to have to think about this, but I also need to be proactive in order to fix this. Or, you know,
proactive and realistic in situations like
that. Yeah, I have to be prepared for the worst.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really do commend her on that. But, like, the fact that she couldn't even stomach the thought of, like, the creepy truck, like, I don't know, her daughter being in there, because she said, like, the truck was just weird. It was just creepy looking. Like, you know, it was probably a sore eye. It was probably something that stood out.
Probably a little rust on the side of the doors.
Probably some dents and stuff in it.
Stuff like that. So we're going to get into the scene. Colleen and Morgan were enjoying their day at a Little League baseball game. At approximately 10:30 p.m., Morgan asked her mom if she could catch lightning bugs with her friends nearby.
Which is honestly kind of nostalgic.
That's the most innocent shit I've ever heard.
It is. And it's kind of nostalgic because when I was younger, I went to go visit my grandma when she moved to Kentucky. And in Kentucky, they have fireflies or lightning bugs, same deal. They have fireflies out there too. And I used to be scared of them at first, but as I got older, I was like, wow, these things are kind of cool. Yeah, so I didn't know there was fireflies in Arkansas, which is interesting. Yeah, cool little fact.
That's so innocent though. Like I can just picture that, like her and her friends going and getting all excited with the jars and shit. And
well, if they had jars, I don't know. I mean, some people just catch them with their hands.
Yeah.
But
Morgan was allowed to do so, but was last seen moments later at 10:45 p.m.
Oh. Yeah, dude, 15 minutes. Jesus. That's all it takes. And honestly, if you think about it, 15 minutes is quite a long time.
Yeah,
because when we were talking about Sherry Lynn, like, she was gone, 20 minutes went by. And,
20 minutes.
You know, like, at that point, somebody could be long gone.
Yeah.
If they really wanted to be, they could be long gone.
If a lot can happen in 2 seconds, a lot can happen
in 15 minutes. Exactly.
Because things just happen, like, so quick.
Yeah.
So at this time, Morgan was near her mom's car where her friends from a few feet away said she was emptying sand from inside of her shoes as a creepy man was engaging in conversation with her, doing most of the talking. Oh.
Yeah, so her friends, which were around her age as well, described the man as creepy. That's really the description that they gave. It was just creepy.
Right.
Just as kids, you know. So take with that information what you will, because creepy could mean a lot of things.
There's a lot of creepy people out there.
Yeah.
Shortly after this, Morgan's friends found Colleen and told her they saw Morgan by the car not too long ago. Unfortunately, when Colleen got to the car, Morgan was already gone. And
that's really it. Like, yeah. And then it kind of just like spiraled from there because there's just not a lot of information on that case. Like, that's it. She literally just disappeared.
That's fucking wild.
Nobody saw her actually leave. She was just last seen.
Right.
At 10:45 p.m.
I really feel for, like, her mom,
crazy.
Because, like, was she an only child, do you know?
I didn't see any information on that, but I believe she was. I'm not too sure.
I'm sure they were, like, super...
There was nothing mentioning her having siblings.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Right. Dang, I really feel for her
But
mom,
the thing about it is, like, there's not a lot of information on, like, anything because the case is still open, and it's been open since she went missing. So, it's been open for 26 years, literally, and that's a long time. So, all this time, we've never gotten information and still don't get very much information.
Right.
So.
And the scariest thing about it is just imagine being the captee. Like, going through your life, like, from 6 to, like, 26 years later, if, you know, you make it that far. Like,
right.
How do you even adjust to that? Like, what do you...
I don't know. Like, honestly, that's over half your life.
Yeah.
Like
you haven't been in school. Like, you haven't, you don't have that...
Well, we can assume that because some captors will still put
some will actually,
their...
like,
the people they kidnap into school. Yeah, and basically give them a whole new identity.
Yeah, definitely. But
that does happen.
I'm just speaking in terms of, like, if they did.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. Like, you can't really do anything now. Yeah. And that's why you end up in the ditch. Like, you end up strung out on drugs. And then if you're a woman, probably put into prostitution. And then put into sex trafficking. And, like, all these, just a downward spiral of a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't need to happen.
Right.
You know,
a whole bunch of circumstances.
just too many possibilities, too many negative possibilities, and it's really sad and it's really scary because, like, I wish it wasn't like that. You know, I wish there weren't people like that. But at the end of the day, you have to have that balance between good and evil, between, you know, the positive and the negative. Like, you have to have that balance in order for things to work.
Yeah, because
otherwise nothing would make sense
chaos,
and nothing would work.
If everything was all positive, life would be boring.
Exactly. Life would be boring and everything would be meaningless. Yeah. Literally.
Things wouldn't, you know, you wouldn't have the emotions you have. You wouldn't, you know.
Yeah, because everything would just be what it is.
Right.
Which is like that for me. But, you know, everything would literally just be so bland.
Yeah.
And it would have no significance. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and get into the aftermath of her disappearance because that is it for her disappearance, honestly. It's just nothing else.
Right.
In 1996, though, Colleen Nick started the Morgan Nick Foundation, and this is a really incredible thing that she did. It's honestly really, I want to say, motivating because I don't have any kids, but if I were to become a mom one day, like, this is the type of stuff I would be on. You know, like, if something were to happen to my child, I would go to the ends of the earth and do what I have to do. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm gonna get justice some way, somehow. I'm gonna get it. The MNF, which is the Morgan Nick Foundation, helps parents cope with the disappearance of children. The Morgan Nick Foundation also helps prevent children from going missing, and it provides a community of support to families that are grieving.
That's good. That's real good.
And I feel like we need more foundations like that. But
because a lot of people don't know how to grieve, and you can't really say what grieving looks like for people, but there's a lot of times where people grieve in very unhealthy ways. So having that guidance and having that support,
having a support system and having people that understand your pain, that hits different, literally. So Morgan's case was shown and highlighted on Unsolved Mysteries as well as America's Most Wanted. Kind of makes sense, and honestly, like, hearing this, I feel like I might have seen the episode that actually talked about her case on, like, one of these shows. I don't know. But I've heard of her case before. Like, a while back, though. And I'm pretty sure it was from one of these shows. So, yeah. And also, you know, there's, like, there's true crime YouTubers that have covered her case. Her case is pretty popular, I would say. So, lastly, I just want to put out information and sources that you can go to for help in this case. So if you feel like you have any information that could or would help this case, this is for you. So there is a description that was put out of the creepy man that was described by Morgan's friends. And this description put him as a white, 6 foot tall, medium or strong build man with a mustache and a 1-inch beard, and he was approximately 23 to 38 years of age at the time. So that's a pretty wide age range.
That's a big age range.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, that could describe a lot of people. You know, it's a very vague description, but it's a step further than
what they had.
What they initially had. So, and this information was found out later throughout this timeline as well. So definitely, if you do think you have information or you've seen something or know something from 1995, if we do have any older viewers or listeners tuning into our podcast, we do have a link to the Morgan Nick Foundation that we will go ahead and put in the description. So that way you guys can go ahead and
check that out.
Yeah, and send in any information that you have, if you have any.
It would be a great help to Colleen, great help to Morgan, and the family. So if you do have anything, please.
Definitely. And, like, we don't know who's going to come across this video, but you never know. Like, anybody could come across this video and see that and probably doesn't know that there is a foundation. So, Just keep that in mind. Now we're going to go ahead and get to the ending questions because that is all for this case. And you want to do the first one?
So, do you believe Morgan could still be alive?
I think yes, because there was no body found. And I think it's a very high possibility that she could have been put into human trafficking because it happens more often than not, especially in missing persons cases when there's no body found.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you hear a lot of times where there's people that have been spotted or seen years later that are missing. And it's kind of like, oh, so, you know, like, is it actually them? Could they really still be alive? You know, especially with age progression, like,
especially like
things change.
If you're not familiar with that person and they do like age over time, and you know, it's like, oh, could that be them or is that them?
Right.
You know?
And we do have an age progression picture that we're going to go ahead and put in right now so you can see what Morgan would look like as an adult. And the second question, what do you think? You think she's still alive?
Honestly, with how open-ended it is, there are so many different possibilities, and I hate to bring up the worst, but I'm gonna be hopeful and say she is.
But what do you truly feel?
Like, I would truly say she is alive.
I feel like it's a high possibility in this case because there's nothing leading to...
Yeah, there's nothing that would, like, say, oh... Well,
right. And, like, even if she's not in, like, human trafficking, like, she could just be alive.
Yeah.
Because it's just... I feel like there, for one, would have been a body found by now. Like, it's been so long. Or maybe that's why there wasn't a body found. Because it's been so long. So... I don't know. It's a tough one for me, honestly.
And the fact that like the police didn't find any evidence when they did end up getting like a mysterious tip about where the body could have been. So that too is like, yeah, she's probably still out there. And the person that
because there was a tip about a location of a potential body.
The person is like playing games. So.
Exactly. Yeah. So the second question is, do you think the police know more than what is being put out?
And my answer for these types of questions is always yes.
Always. And especially with this one, it obviously, because it makes sense. Like, it's still an open case. So with an open case, obviously they cannot tell the public everything. So they're going to be holding back a lot of information from us. And I'm sure they have been for the past almost 30 years.
Right.
So... I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. Oh, yeah.
Somebody knows something. Like,
always.
It's never just nobody knows nothing. Or
right.
You know. So the last question is, do you think Colleen will ever win this multi-decade-old fight for justice for her daughter?
I think eventually she will. There's been a lot of cases that have been solved
and I'll say it like this. Even if she doesn't win the fight, the fact that she even put up one in the first place is beautiful enough in its own right.
And I'm sure she's going to fight till the end.
Right.
And the fact that she's still fighting 26 years later just says a lot. Like, it's still going. The foundation is still up and alive. Like, they do update it, I believe.
Right.
So, yeah, it's just crazy. It's a very frustrating case, though, because there's just no answers. There's
nothing to go
information. Like, it's just very vague. It's very mysterious. And it's Arkansas. That's the state. That's our fourth state. Arkansas. And it's crazy because I have heard about this case before, but I didn't know it took place in Arkansas. And I learn something new every day.
I'm glad it wasn't Alaska. Seeing as how people just be going missing out there.
Yeah. That does happen quite often. But that is it. That's all for today. This is episode 10. I'm so glad that we're finally in double digits, guys. Ooh. Like, wow.
Yeah.
It feels weird.
I mean...
to know that the number's, like, continuously growing. I mean, we're putting in the work, that's why. But, like, to actually see it coming to life is cool.
Definitely.
And we're glad that you guys are enjoying it. We've been getting a lot of good feedback on the podcast. And we love it. We love it so much. So, yeah. Anything else you want to add?
So, guys, it's spring and it's the time for growth, and not everybody's in their season of growth. So, just be introspective. Love yourself, love your family.
Always.
Love those who love you, and family isn't always blood, so just.
Exactly, yes.
Just stay very aware of yourself, your surroundings, and that's all I have.
And that's all there is to be said, honestly.
Yeah.
The things you do don't affect just you. And we'll
Straight
leave on that note.
So, this has been episode 10. I've been your host, DJ.
And I've been your host, Sav.
Tune in next week to get
Deeper than most.